Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dr. B. I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about some of the information that we have in the Chris Watts case that we've been kind of holding on to for a while because we weren't sure whether or not it would even matter if we released this recording or not. But with everything that's been going on and all the rumors and the misinformation, maybe it would be best to just put what we have out there and for you guys to know exactly what we've been told coming from the horse's mouth, basically. As you all know, last June, end of June, we took a trip to Frederick, Colorado, for the files that we requested. There's a whole backstory to it that I really don't feel the need to go into, but regardless, once we were in Frederick, we went to the Frederick Police Department to pick up the records that we requested. And while we were there, we had a conversation with Amanda Purcell, who is the evidence supervisor. And you can see her name all throughout the discovery. So we got an opportunity to ask her a couple of questions. And it was pretty much a little bit overwhelming just being there too. So if at some points during this recording we sound scrambled, that's because we were. The point is that some of the questions that we did ask, I thought were important, specifically about the phone records and the fingerprints and things like that. So in an effort to cut down on all the rumors and all the lies that have been going around in this case and the uncertainties that have been going on in this case, I thought that this recording will help put some of that to rest, but also help us maybe understand a little bit better why we don't have some of the answers that we should have and who our questions should be directed to. I tried to transcribe the conversation as accurately as I could, but there are some points where it's a little bit difficult to hear, but I think you're going to get the whole gist. Enough talk. Let's get right into it.
Alright, so usually got this. It goes in chronological order. So we start with the offense, and it goes through like all the documents that go with the offense, the steps, all the docs that go with the steps, all the way through the end. And then here, we ended up putting on so we ended up putting a large terabyte drive for you. We also didn't have any 100 gigabyte Blu-ray discs, which were the only CDs big enough to put everything on for you, and they weren't going to be here in time. Because I had one, and I couldn't put them on normal CDs because they're too big. So we ended up finding with a terabyte hard drive, figured it'd be easier, a little bit more portable too. That way the CDs don't get scratched or whatever. And everything that we have, body cam, everything is all on here. It is redacted to protect like witness identity, so we took out like date of birth, phone number, addresses, and things like that. Like that letter that the chief and the DA wrote for me to give to you, the phone numbers are not included in that, because they said it was all released, what was able to be released was in the discovery, and they didn't want me touching it.
So, yeah, I heard that, and that was a bit vague, like it did say, that it's to whatever, public interest. But, and then I read the statutes that they, referenced, and I thought I read that they have to be more specific. And so then I read through our emails again, and I remember you saying like the recovery wouldn't be included because that would be too gruesome.
Right.
So that's specific, but I didn't get that from them. So how do I appeal that? Like what would?
Okay. So you have to contact the district attorney's office because it was as when we came in the request that we're not releasing it for the statute. It was my understanding that it was because they had redacted what was considered private. So she had lots of conversations with her friends and families that had absolutely nothing to do with the case. And so since I don't have it in a format that's legible, but they do, they were not going to give me the format.
So they're picking interesting basically. So are they the custodians of the records? Like who's the official custodian?
Depends on the agency. I'm official for everything that's private. Longmont, so like if there's a not court, we don't have it.
Right.
Because, and so, they are.
But when I contacted Longmont and asked them, they only included, they emailed me back and said that they had one report, and the report was included in the discovery, and said the rest of their files are with you.
So they only have the one report. They didn't actually participate with anything except for us using their markers. So that was it. They only had one. So
Then what I was gonna ask with the custodian thing, so so the phone dumps like were requested by your agency, by you. So, and they were returned to Detective Baumhofer based on his warrant.
right.
So how then is the DA the custodian of those?
Because we all report to the DA.
So he's,
So they basically are the umbrella that oversees all of us, and they are the ones who interpret the statute for us.
so you're doing what they tell you to
Yes.
do? Of course. Okay.
Right.
We're here because, like, there's so many questions, and, so yeah, that's the truth, so I don't know, thank you, and I guess we'll try to take it up with the DA.
Answers.
Do you have any?
I am sorry.
No,
I know it's difficult because you're following, what you're being told to do. I'm bound by what I'm allowed to do, so, I understand, it's a frustrating situation all the way around. I mean, I was here, obviously you see my name, I've written reports for it, so.
Yeah, you're my, like, hero in here, so like, let me find the man.
I'm sorry, so it is frustrating all the way around, because, obviously we're all bound by what we're allowed to do, and I know that can be sometimes a giant loophole. And I do apologize that it works out that way sometimes, but everything that I was able to give you, I gave you.
Okay.
So, and I rejected as little as possible that would allow me to be within the statute, but I'm not gonna give you black pages. So,
Right, I appreciate that.
Thank you
No.
so much.
I just think it's
And I'm
interesting with
sorry
the phone
for, like,
records.
everything that you've been
The
through
phone records?
with this case and with everything afterwards that happened. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
'Cause
No, I was
just,
just trying to follow everything. I didn't mean to interrupt. So, okay, so she was saying that there's some phone records that because there's friends and family on even though that's already in there.
yeah.
We already know that.
Yeah.
We already have all the friends and family for
Right.
months.
So, the DA's office, so they gave us, how it worked is like the phone numbers, yes, they ended up returning them to us, but the agency that initiated it was actually anonymous. It was
It's CBI.
And so, it's kind of tricky with how they're wording.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
And
Yes.
you see how they're saying it, like, we assisted, so we
Right.
gave everything to the DA's office. and
No, they said they give it to you.
I know.
Yes.
So
Which
yeah.
isn't true. They returned everything to the DA's office because they don't report to us. We're not their boss.
Right.
They assisted us,
True.
yes, but everything that
Makes
they had, they gave to the DA's office.
That makes sense.
And so, how the DA's office released it is entirely up to them. We don't have it.
I have another question. Okay, now, the phone records aside, there's a report by the state crime lab that there were some Latin prints that they didn't identify. So they put someone on the crime scene, and just left it like hanging in the air. Would that be like the follow-up report to the prints that they took from us later on?
That should all be in here.
Perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Okay.
So, now I don't know if it's the same report, but there is a report in here that references that they were testing, but they stopped testing because he took a plea deal. So,
So they
I don't
wouldn't.
know
They
if it's the
wouldn't.
same report, I'm just saying if there is one here.
There's
Yes,
one there that
so
says that.
Okay.
So, wow. Alright,
So-
well, okay, we're gonna just go through this now. Thank you so much. Are you forgetting? I'm so overwhelmed. Like,
I mean, of course I have a million questions, but there's only so much.
there's another, so like, since I'm here now, like, I'm obviously like looking at everything, and so there's like cameras on every light. Would they have pulled that and it's not in here? Or
They don't belong to the town. They belong to Colorado Department of Transportation.
So that would be something CBI maybe?
Or CDOT.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't believe it was an avenue we ever went down now.
That's insane.
So, okay, so when Chris pled guilty, every test, all the testing
The
just
state
stopped,
funding
like, we're
stops.
good with that?
The state funding stops, you said.
Yeah, so they're not going to pay, if they took a plea deal and it's not going to trial, they're not going to pay for testing.
I see what you
Because it's
mean.
not, they don't need it.
They
Right.
need it, it's done,
Exactly.
closed. So I have,
And I
sorry.
think there was a destroyed evidence a year later, right?
No. That was like something in the report that was like outrageous, that makes no sense. I mean, actually, let me ask you, because, yeah,
I was
like
like,
one
I
of
can't
the,
remember, because I know I was like, what?
one of the reports said something about we have these DNA samples, but they will be destroyed after 120 days or something like that. I was like, that makes no sense. I'll have to-
That shouldn't have been a Frederick report, because I'm
No, I don't
making
think so.
evidence too,
Yeah.
and I'm not
No,
saying-
it was
I
something
know,
at the
but
crime
it's-
lab, I think.
I think it was a
Yeah, at the crime lab.
Yeah, you have to direct that to CBI. I don't know anything about their policy or procedure, so.
It's very interesting to me, like, all of this is, because basically, in theory, you could have 4 people there, and if one pleads guilty, the testing's done.
No.
No,
So
that's
if
not how it
there's
is.
multiple defendants, like if there's multiple people that they believe are guilty of the crime, just because one pleads does not mean that case goes away.
Right.
So since there is only one defendant and he pled,
Right,
they stop testing.
They stopped testing him.
So his case is done,
right.
and that's why all the testing for his case was done.
I understand, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
So that was our conversation with Amanda. Obviously, the transcript, like I said, might not be super accurate, but I'm pretty sure that you get the gist. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, and you can also reach out via email or via Facebook, whatever floats your boat. Hopefully this will answer some questions. I know that it confused us at first, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Thanks for listening.